Welcome back to Screen Fiend. It's your boy Carcino here. Let's get into it. Jon Favreau. Everyone looks at him as a genius. This man is incredible. He brought the vision of Marvel together with Iron Man. They had a lot of time to play with Iron Man and make Iron Man what it was. And it was the gift and the curse. Because a movie that no one cared about, they just hope they made their money back from, Iron Man became a staple, and it definitely set the stage of what was going to become a dynasty. So Marvel got greedy and said, wow, we can get all these characters that we got now. We'll just let Favreau just set him up and we can just start going from there. Oh, this has worked wonders. This movie did way more than we thought we were going to do. All the levels have been set. This is what we've been waiting for. This was that golden bullet. And it saved a company that was near bankruptcy. Now, with that being the case, why did Favreau leave the Iron Man series? His baby. What he started. Why? Why would this guy get up and just walk away? You know? He walked away. Oh man, everyone just keeps sending me stuff. He walked away from so much and had so many things laid out that had he not walked away, his net worth could be somewhere in the 300 million range, 400 million, maybe even higher. And it might get there. But I think his net worth is probably at 100 million. But it's not about money. Everything is not about money all the time. And that's hard for people to understand who don't have it. After Iron Man 2, him leaving the directorial picture was essentially the right thing to do. Here is why. Everyone blamed the Iron Man franchise on Robert Downey Jr. fighting with Favreau. I'm here to tell you that it's a lie. It is a complete lie. Here was the problem with Iron Man. Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 was set up to be one of the greatest in Marvel history. The original script of Iron Man 2 is probably the best script in Marvel cinematic history. I repeat, Iron Man 2 script, okay? The script is probably one of the best in Marvel Cinematic history. The original script and story for Iron Man 2 is this. They had 2 years to get Iron Man 2 done instead of the 3 years they had before. Marvel's got a shorter timetable and more money, and they think throwing more money in it is going to make it work a lot better. You have new people involved, invested into making this a successful boom on the entire world. So enter the Marvel people. They're going to supervise this to make this thing bigger than it could ever be. And from the look of Iron Man 2, it is amazing. You got all these colors. It is well directed. It is well shot with the action scenes and all these explosions. But the story is all over the place. It's a story of about 5 different stories going on at once. Marvel wants them to try to reboot and push the Avenger thing so they can get Hulk and everybody else to pigeon off of Iron Man. So that's involved in this film. Somehow they got to blend that in with the story that they have written. Now, this was the story that was supposed to be the mirror contrast of Tony Stark. Okay, with Vanko. His father, who worked with Tony on the arc reactor, who really created it, and Tony Stark's finding out that his father, all this conflict that he had with his father. Okay, which Tony Stark was he going to be? The genius billionaire, or was he this, alcoholic, out of control guy who stole things like his father did? His whole father's legacy is in question. So it makes him question his legacy. Who is he? He's supposed to be the son of this great genius, and you're coming to find out that this genius might have been a fraud. Now your whole life is destroyed. And Vanko is the mirror image and coming through the same thing as Tony did in part 1. He's in a dark place where he builds his arc reactor, feeling that his father died, not getting the credit, the respect, or the acknowledgement. So he died in shame. So you have a character who's much more than just some madman, some Russian madman just trying to kill Tony Stark. He actually has a purpose. There's a connection there. We didn't get that in Iron Man 2 because a lot of scenes were cut out. Because the studio say, no, we got to lose that. We got to make time. We got to get this thing going. Speed it up, baby. We got to get the explosions. People want to see Iron Man do his stuff. So you got guys who are dissecting the script, ruining it, and then Favreau is just going insane because they're ruining his movie. So now Iron Man 2, the stories never really connect. That's why you see him and Vanko have like one conversation in the beginning after he stops him. And that was probably one of the best scenes in there when he's telling him, if you make God bleed, people will cease to believe in him. Some of the best writing, best lines were right then and there. And then you don't see them no more to basically the end. That's it. He thinks, and throughout the movie, he's dead. So it just doesn't make any type of sense when you look at it all together. So Marvel was content on not caring about his character, making him as bland as possible. Let's just have some action. Let's have different scenery. We have a bunch of explosions. And that's going to make a lot of money. Then we just key in, Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury to come in and just push the buttons. give his introspective view on everything, pushing buttons. You know, Tony, your father, he used to do this, he used to do that. Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? So he just kept pushing Tony in the right direction. We have this fight between Tony and Rhodey at a party when Tony's out of control, and they never really, like, you never really see them as that close of friends in the movie. So you don't really see how their bond is, because they're really basically not even around each other now, to where he can sit there and open up. But a lot of scenes were cut out. So it's like as soon as they have like a heart to heart, then they go to fighting each other in like 5 minutes. It's like, that's dumb. I'm like, this stuff is not making sense. Then the key of the entire movie, Hammer. Hammer. That was the key to Iron Man 2. And that's why I said Sam Rockwell is one of the best actors ever. His energy level is something up there with Robert Downey Jr.'s. So he can combat with him. He can go back and forth. So when he did what he did, it opened up everything. And I mean everything. He opened a Pandora's box. Wait, wait, and wait. Jeez. He opened up Pandora's box because the story now can be saved and salvaged a little bit, but it kind of ruins the other plot that's happening. The real bad guy is Hammer. He is the another side of Tony. He's a part of Tony. This is what Tony was. Tony is competing against Hammer Tech. Hammer is the billionaire, philanthropy, womanizing guy, the same guy Tony was before he got, tortured over there overseas. That was Tony. That used to be his life. So before he changed to new Tony, instead of wild man, playboy philanthropist, he was Hammer. Hammer was him. So now he's looking at his old self and battling somebody like him. And that guy is Tony, but more dangerous. He's willing to go above and beyond because he cannot stand to lose. Just like Tony. So he'll take whatever shortcut he needs to take because everything he's done has been erased or becoming second fiddle to Tony Stark. So having him in there was a great villain. He was the guy that provided the finance to make the character move along of Venko. So it gave a nice contrast to have that story, but there's no real connection there. Besides the courtroom scene, we don't really have enough to do we even see them again? Do we even see Tony and Rockwell anymore? No. Those two were never around each other anymore. It was completely wasted. So you got one storyline that's gone, then you got this storyline. Don't work. None of it connects. So Favreau is upset his movie has turned out to be exactly what the people said it was. When they reviewed it, like, this movie is bad. It makes no sense. And it really didn't. And Iron Man 2 was really bad. And people were like, man, had some cool scenes in it, but it's bad. So, well, it's a lot of arc into the story. But this is why Favreau decided, Iron Man 3, I'm out. I don't want to go through the same thing again. I'll play Happy. Happy was supposed to die in the script. They decided to keep Happy around. Okay, that was their decision. They wanted to keep that around. The Avengers went through without a hitch. Kevin Feige and Josh Whedon. At the time, Josh Whedon was one of the guys at the helm who was making sure the film go, and Kevin Feige was. Those two were making the decisions. And after this, he was just like, I'm done. I kind of want to do something else. So he ended up stepping out and ended up making a fortune for himself and making less headaches for himself by not having to deal with some of the people at Marvel. He came out with the Jungle Book. He's got the Lion King. He's putting out all these Disney adaptations and making a killing at the box office. So Favreau did the right thing by stepping away. People think you can't step away from Marvel and be successful. He showed you. Now he's got the Mandalorian. The only positive Star Wars news we've had since The Force Awakening came out. So it is what it is. So now you know why he stepped away. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to Screen Fiend. You can support the page by, if you're watching this live, you can hit the super chat button and make a donation to the page. We appreciate that. All love and support. And if not, if you're watching this out there replay, then you could definitely donate to the Cash App, which is Carceno, Karceno. I'm out.